MonitorChat, an online discussion that seeks to add depth and insight to our coverage of the Valley's most noteworthy stories and people. My name is Greg Luca, and I'm the Monitor's UTRGV Athletics Beat Reporter. UTRGV chose to reassign head men's basketball coach Dan Hipsher on March 15th after closing out a third straight 20-loss season. Athletics Director Chris King and the search committee needed just 15 days to settle on Lou Hill as his replacement. Hill has spent the past 26 years as an assistant coach at South Alabama, Southeast Missouri State, East Carolina, Texas A&M, UNLV, and most recently Oklahoma, advancing to the 2016 Final Four. For the past 12 years, he has worked under former Pan American College coach Lon Kruger, who Hill considers a mentor. Hill enters his first head coaching job with the Vaqueros facing an assortment of new challenges: recruiting, assembling a staff, developing community interest, and turning around a program that has gone 13-31 in 3 seasons in the WAC. Today we'll talk to Coach Hill about how he hopes to tackle those challenges, his experiences in basketball up to this point, and learn more about who he is on a personal level. Many of these questions are based on submissions for our readers, and if you'd like to get involved at any point, you can email questions to monitorchat@themonitor.com or post them on Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag MonitorChat. So, Coach, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing so far?
Oh, good. Glad to be here, just constantly moving.
All right. What's been your first impression of the Valley and getting settled in here?
The first impression, how wonderful the people are. I mean, with open arms, showing me a lot of love, so I'm excited.
That was one of the things I think Coach Kruger told you to expect around here. He gave you a pretty stirring review of the people. What else has he been able to tell you coming in?
Well, he hasn't been here in a long time, but that's the most important thing is the people. When you making a move, you just want the people to be genuine and very nice, and that's what, especially when you bring in a family with you.
Right. When you talk about the program and turning it around, what is the singular most important thing that you have to do to make a difference and bring this back on a winning track?
I think it takes a village. So when I mean a village, I mean it's the community, the university, the administrations, and everybody coming together as one. And then you work with the team, make sure everybody going for the same common goal, which is winning. And then you work inside out with the team, get them mentally understanding what it takes to be a champion.
You had your introductory press conference yesterday, and one of the things you talked about a lot was sort of changing the culture and building that winning atmosphere. What has to happen for that to be built? How do you go about targeting that?
Well, you have to keep recruiting. Recruiting is always the base at beginning to change it, but then you have to establish winning culture within the players. You have to teach them about, because when you only win 9 games, 8 games, 6 games, you're used to doing a lot of things the wrong way. So we had to teach them to do it the right way, and we had to change their mentality.
One of the things that a lot of people have said about you is that you do a really good job of developing relationships with the student athletes. How do you do that? What's your sort of technique for relating to younger kids?
Well, I was once one of them, so
right.
I understand how they think. I understand, I'm right on the borderline of old school, new school. So, having young kids, they keep you in the new, and I still have some of my old school values from how I was coached. So, if you do it right in the middle, because I always say all players want to be coached.
You said your favorite word is fun, right?
Fun.
So how do you bring that out in the program too?
Well, just when we're practicing, not harping on all the negative things and trying to let them know it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to do something silly. But let's don't be immature about it. Let's tackle it, have a little laugh, and move on.
Do you find it important in a head coach to be a character guy like that, to not be somebody who's attacking the players, not somebody who's, rude or,
I think, being under Coach Kruger, he never attacks them. I mean, now we coach them, but we never belittle them. We work with them as far as to keep the confidence that they have. I don't worry about if somebody takes one bad shot. I don't worry about if they miss one miss an assignment or anything. We're not going to harp on it. We're going to hit it and move on.
Been a lot of writing about Coach Kruger recently with your guys' trip to the Final Four, and everything I've read is that he's like the nicest guy on the planet.
Yes. Now he's the most competitive guy too. That's what people don't understand. They think, don't take the niceness for weakness. He's very competitive. He's really, really intelligent as far as in the game decisions and making quick decisions to change the game around. But he's very competitive.
He said you were one of the best recruiters, not just in the state, but in the nation. What do you do to have some success recruiting? What's your technique?
I'm honest with the guys. And then I'm honest with the parents. And I think honesty and being truthful helps a lot, But then I work hard at it. You know, I don't like to take no for an answer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I keep hitting them and I try to get on them early and let them know that I'm someone that they could trust.
As we mentioned in the rundown, one of your stops was at Texas A&M, and you apparently do a pretty good job of recruiting the Texas areas. How have you built those contacts?
Well, I
over
went
the
to
years?
San Jack, you know, and which is and won a national championship there, which is in Pasadena, Texas. So I got to know a lot of people there. And then even when I wasn't, before I even came to Texas A&M, I always recruited Texas. Then when I came to A&M, I kept the same ties, and when I went to UNLV, just kept coming back and, you know, establish relationships. Relationships is the biggest key in recruiting. You got to know all the high school coaches, you got to know all the AAU coaches, you got to know all the scouting service guys. Now it's different than when, you know, when I first started.
Right. So where does Texas fit into the national recruiting picture? How much talent can you find in this area?
Oh, that gotta be where we first start. You know, I figured if we have, I think we have one kid from Texas now. I'm not for sure, but you know, with all this talent here, we should, 13-man roster, we should at least have 5 to 7 guys.
In terms of this area, specifically down here, have you ever been able to take a look down here or scout out some of these
I've
local
never
teams?
really been down here this far, but I mean, I would look. If we have local players that's good enough, oh, I would definitely take a look at that. I would love to keep kids home.
Another thing you talked about with building the program is just increasing attendance and getting more people to come out. Any ideas on how to do that or what to make this game more attractive for some of the fans?
Well, you know, when you first start, I always say this. If you're first starting out and you're not winning because you don't have the players yet, you have to play a style that at least they can relate to. You have to play a fun way at least they can relate to. And then they have to see the intangible things. They have to see you, you know, diving on the floor, playing unselfish, rebounding, playing hard and competing. And then they could start seeing the vision themselves and say, wow, if we get a player here, player there, we're going to be pretty good. So that gets them to the game.
How about for the students specifically? Is there anything you have to do to appeal to that group and get them involved in the program?
Oh, that's where you start at. You know, that's where you want to go. So me, and I'm going to get Jonah here to work with me, finding all the leaders of the student, you know, as far as, I don't know about the sororities and the fraternities, those type of things. I don't know about that yet. I'm still learning. And the student leadership, just get in there and work them and get them out, invite them, have them come to practices and work out so they can see what we're doing.
I know last year I would see sometimes they would have the fraternity letters up there and then the people would be gathered in their little blocks. I think that did a lot to really boost the amount of people that were coming out.
Well, we'll do it again, and we'll do it again. And I'm gonna be on campus. I'm gonna be visible. I'm gonna be visible in the community. So when guys want me to speak or show up and do anything, I'm gonna do it. So whatever it takes to change this program around, I'm gonna do.
In the discussion of attendance, how much of it comes down to what kind of games you can get and how you schedule?
Well, that helps some, but I think it starts with putting a good product on the floor. Once you put a good product on the floor, then you could get better games in here. You know, if you don't have a good product on the floor, nobody's going to come and play you.
Have you thought at all about the scheduling side of it? I know Chris King, the athletics director, was saying yesterday that they want to have more home games and they wanted to spend some money to bring in better teams that'll draw more fans.
Well, we got to do that. I mean, scheduling is the big key. Recruiting, scheduling, 2 top components in changing the program around. And we got to bring better teams in, and we want to play more home games, so we got to get more people in the stands to do that.
But beyond that, you mentioned this attacking style that you want to bring in. Give me some more details on that. How do you want that to look on the court?
Well, it's almost like a controlled chaos.
Okay.
You know, we're playing, we're trapping. I never want the offense to be able to do what they do every day. You know, sometimes I might trap the first pass, sometimes I might trap at half court, sometimes I might not trap, just play solid man-to-man defense. You know, just different things where when they're preparing, they have to prepare for us defensively all week long.
I know in the press conference yesterday you mentioned you don't really like the pack line. You don't like this kind of packing it in and sitting back. What's wrong with that style, or why don't that fit you?
It's just not me. I've always been attacking. I'm an aggressive guy by nature. You know, being from where I grew up at, you had to be aggressive. And pack line is good for some people. But then if I'm doing the pack line, then that's not who I am. So I want to get out and attack people, you know, and I think basketball, because a few guys have done pack line, everybody wants to do pack line now.
Right.
But when you're coaching, and the first thing Coach Kruger said, you have to be yourself, and that's not who I am.
But you do need a certain level of talent and athleticism to be able
Yeah.
to get out and run the floor, right?
Mhm.
Is that a challenge too?
Yes, I mean, but you got to start training the mind right now and the body. And I'm not crazy. Now I still want to win. So if I don't have enough players to do what I want to do right now, I'm not just going to be doing it just to say this is what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to win games.
Right.
But for the majority, I'm gonna start now of training the mind and the body to do what I want to do.
When you talk about getting out and running on defense and the pressure, you mentioned steals, defensive field goal percentage, and rebounding as the three things you want to lead the country in. Why those stats specifically?
Because those are winning stats. You know, if I'm getting out, getting easy baskets, that gets the momentum, that gets the crowd going. And if you don't steal the ball and you're playing solid defense and you're making people take contested, tough shots, you're gonna win a lot of games. And then at the end, you got to rebound.
Right.
You know, it's no use to giving them, making them take tough shots and then don't rebound it.
These things don't always go together. Sometimes when you're playing the full court press, you might give up a little higher percentage because of easy shots. How do you negate that?
Well, I think you do it when you press on the front end, then be real solid on the back end, so you can do both. You know, I'll give you an example. Golden State, they might score more, but the field goal percentage is good. You know, so because there's more possessions in the game. So, but if we can be solid on the half court, which I don't want to be wild on the half court, then we'll be fine.
You guys obviously had a great season at Oklahoma this year, but those weren't necessarily your strengths.
Field goal percentage was.
Yeah, but not necessarily the steals and the rebounding.
Well, coach, for the first time, rebounding was solid.
Solid, yeah.
But the field goal percentage was really, really good, and the rebounding was solid. But we didn't go still this year because Coach Moore went pack line. But that's Coach Kruger's personality. But what we used to do, we used to get a lot of steals. We used to be in the tops and steals, and then he changed it up. But offensively, we just kept attacking.
Was it based on personnel to switch it up a little bit this year?
No, that's just what he wanted to do.
Okay.
That's what he just wanted to do. Actually, we started it last year with the kind of semi-pack line, and we were in the top 10 defensively, and probably I think top 15 defensively again. So that's the way he switched it. But me, I want to. Whenever you seen us trapping and all that, that was me pushing them. Come on, coach, go trap them. Go, you know. So that's more my personality.
So what else have you picked up and learned from Coach Kruger over the years? Just tell me about your relationship with him over time.
Oh, he just taught me the value of just treating people with respect, serving people, you know, saying nice things to people. You never know how their day is going. If you say one or two kind words, it might change their day. Just being a good person. He's a great coach, but he's even a better man.
Even getting a head job offered to you, was it tough to leave a scenario like that with a guy you get along with so well and a team that's had some success?
Yes, but you gotta. It's like your parents. You gotta leave the nest sometime.
Right.
So, and I've always wanted to be my own boss. So, now I get the opportunity.
You mentioned having looked for jobs. I think you said it was about 6 years you've been in the running for some things and just missed. How tough has that process been of being right there and not having something come together?
You gotta have faith, though. You know, it's been tough because you think you're as good as the person that they hired, or you're better, or you see other guys getting jobs and you're done more in the game than they have. So, but at the end, your time will come. You just gotta have faith and believe and just keep working hard, and it comes.
Were you ever offered a head job, maybe at a lower level, and decided it was easier to stay assistant D1? Or
Yeah, one. And just wasn't the right fit for me. And then a few of those 5 or 6 that I didn't get, I'm glad I didn't get, because they weren't committed to winning. And that's the big key. And that's what drew me to here, because Chris is committed to winning when I talk to him.
Nobody's going to say they're not committed to winning. So how do you get the sense of that? What really puts that over for you?
You know by just their actions and what they say and how they say it. And then when they come on an interview, they got to show you how they're committed to winning. All ADs can't show you that.
Right.
So you know.
I was going to say, is part of that showing sort of the trajectory of the school from just the growth of the department? We've seen the budget increase year after year. Do you look at those things when you decide that?
Yeah. That's what you look at. And you look at it, and then you look at where he's saying that in a few years, hopefully they'll be sharing the arena and how they want to grow and just the things that he's trying to do in the locker room and, those type of things. That's showing that you want to win.
So we see the growth, but where do you assess the state of the program at this moment? Where are they at right now?
Well, it's up and coming. I mean, but you got to change the whole attitude about winning. You know, they haven't won in a long time. So we have to change that mentality, and it starts in the whole athletic department.
What are the challenges of this job specifically that have prevented people from winning for a long time here?
I don't know about other people, but I just, you know, you got to, one was you never was in a league for a long time. That's
right.
Hard. When you're independent at this level, it's hard to get kids because you don't have a chance to go to the tournament. You know, you have to have probably a 30-win season, and, you know, it's just harder. So kids want to at least have a chance. So I think that was one big thing. And, you know, and I just, the facilities probably wasn't the greatest. You know, so, and I see where they're trying to get better at that. So all those things, young kids want to see those things.
Other people have talked about the difficulty of, you know, having teams having to travel down here or having to travel from here for recruiting purposes. Is it tougher to recruit here than at a lot of other places?
I've started recruiting, yes, I don't know.
What do you anticipate?
I think I could recruit here. I mean, you can recruit anywhere. So we'll see.
It is based more on the relationship side
Yes.
than the logistics
Yes.
side, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it just goes back to building those connections with the
To
people.
be determined, yes.
That being said, there has been a lot of turnover with coaching here. You know, a couple years here, a couple years there. Is that something that's tough for a program to establish an identity when that's happening from time to time?
Yes. You have to be patient. You know, I think you have to be patient. But while you're being patient, people want to see some positive out the program, you know, and see which direction the program is going. I just think anything, if you see it going in the right direction, you tend to be more patient.
The fans have seen, you know, one job after another, one guy after another come through. So why is Lou Hill going to be different? Why is Lou Hill going to make this work and stick it out here longer than some of the others have?
I plan on winning. I don't know how they played before, but I just think when you play a fun style of basketball, people tend to gravitate to that. I mean, I've been in different leagues and watch bad teams play because they play a bad style of basketball. You know, it's like watching the paint dry. But I think if you're playing exciting, trying to score 100 every game, trying to get steals, running and dunking, shooting threes, I think that's exciting basketball to me. People watch Golden State, they love it.
Right.
We were the most, you said we didn't steal the ball, but we were the most fun team to watch this year. People love watching us because we get out and shoot threes and running and dunking and, you know, and playing the game, moving the ball and selfish. People love that type of basketball.
So does that stuff make it easier to recruit when you play that style that people gravitate to?
Well, I think when you're at a place like this, yes, you have to be unique. You know, you can't do what everyone else is doing.
I want to talk about the situation you just came from with Oklahoma advancing to the Final Four this year. What was that experience like
Fun.
going to the national tournament?
Fun. It was like, and then, you know, having the Player of the Year and Buddy, it was like traveling with a rock band. You know, everywhere we went, it was media coverage. It was, and you know, Coach Kruger has open practices, so the practices are packed. So, you know, it was really fun. And then having your run early, being ranked #1, then going into a little mini slump, and then coming back and playing great again, and then making that run to the Final Four. You know, as a coach, that's what you dream of.
What was it like just being in that atmosphere of the Final Four and the week leading up to that? Was there anything that surprised you or caught you off guard about it?
No, it was great. The only thing that hurt me from really, really enjoying it, I was enjoying two things at the same time. I was just offered a job and this, so my mind was, you know, enjoying this and the Final Four at the same time. So.
Is that a tough juggling act? I'm
yes,
sure you want to start
yes,
making your plans here.
Yes, yes. You know, you're still trying to make sure you're prepared for the Final Four, but subconsciously, you're already coming up with ideas how you can help your own program. So, you know, but for the majority of the part, I was professional and make sure we was taking care of the problem at hand.
I'm sure you're ready to put this behind you, but the game with Villanova, what happened there that things didn't necessarily go your guys' way?
I don't even remember that game.
Right.
Oh, it was a game.
Yeah, right.
It's almost identical to the way we beat them in Hawaii. Nothing went right for them. Everything went right for us. And we never expected, because leading up to all week in practice, we practiced great. You know, usually you have bad practice or shoot the ball bad. We had none of that. So it was just Villanova's time.
as the tournament goes on from there? Are you happy to see them win the title, or are you a little bitter that they're the ones that knocked you out?
It doesn't matter. I mean, if we're not winning it, I didn't care about it.
Right.
To be honest.
So talk to me more about Buddy. What is he like off the court? It's a guy that everybody sees and what he did, scoring 25 points a game. But what can you tell me about him as a person?
The best. I mean, fun, loving, talks to everybody, and I don't even think he ever has an enemy. But once he stepped between the lines, the ultimate competitor. I mean, the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan competitor, just whatever it takes to win. I mean, wakes up every day, works out about 2 to 3 times a day in the gym. Buddy couldn't shoot when we first got him. Shot 20%. Our whole backcourt. And then we were second in the country in three-point percentage because those guys had a work ethic that was unbelievable.
I know a lot of people talk about the Player of the Year race. They say it's either him or Denzel Valentine. How do you compare the two? What's the case for Buddy?
I don't know. He's won. Buddy's won the last 2, so. I mean, he just won the Naismith Awards. So he's going to California for the Wooden. So, Buddy's winning the big ones. As one of our players say, who voted for the AP? I mean, come on. I mean, I respect Valentine had a great year, but he didn't do what Buddy did.
Buddy, it seemed like he was just the kind of guy that you could just put the ball in his hands and he would be able to make something happen. How valuable is that from a coaching perspective to have that kind of weapon?
It's valuable because when the offense is not going well, things are not running, you need big buckets, just give it to your best player. And he gets them like Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I'm not calling him them, but he's like that. When you know he's on, you give it to your best player and go make plays. So that's every coach's dream to have a player like that.
One of the many games where he shined was the triple overtime game against Kansas this year. What can you compare that to? Is there anything you've ever been like in your coaching career that's been on that level? I mean, that game was insane.
It was crazy. He did a good job. But you know what the ultimate game that was? We lost. So, see, we're not into moral victories. Now, if you say the Oregon game when he went off and had 31, we won. That's what it's about, winning. It's not about getting numbers and losing, but he was on fire, but he scored 37, so I'll take the 37 in a win instead of a 46 in a loss.
One of the things that was a storyline coming into this season was the shorter shot clock. Did you see that impact the game at all? What do you think about the state of college basketball in general?
I think they should take it on now, 24, make the games faster. I mean, make the game more fun, get up and down the floor, play the game right, you know, instead of come down. And ultimately that's, you know, and it's different. You know, everybody thinks the game should be played one way. I think it should be played another way. You got your own ideas. But I love the shorter shot clock.
Any other rule changes you'd like to see or any other things they can do to sort of regulate some stuff into or out of the game?
Maybe expand the lane a little bit, you know, NBA style, you know. Guys are getting bigger. You know, maybe move the three-point line back a little bit to international.
Okay.
I would like that better.
Let's look a little bit back at your past year. You've had a lot of different stops on your tenure. Anything you've picked up from each spot along the way, or how have you developed over your time?
Yes, I've learned from my failures, learned from, you know, my success, and just want to grow. I'm harder on myself than anybody could ever be. You know, so I'm always learning, I'm always reading, I'm always studying other coaches. I'm the biggest thief in the world as far as getting stuff from other coaches and putting it into my ideas and just always thinking basketball.
We've obviously talked about Coach Kruger, but did you have other mentors along that path? Anybody who stuck out or really helped guide you?
Melvin Watkins was good, even though we didn't win with him, but I learned how to be a good person, you know, how to treat the guys. He was very similar to Coach Kruger in a sense of that. Coach Arrow, who coached me, learn about how he just pushes you and competitive he was, you know, so, and my younger coaches, you know, my high school coach, Tony Fantino, who's now with the Miami, well, he's been with the Miami Heat since they're existing as far as coaching. And so I learned quite a bit. My overseas coach, Rick Shaw. So all my coaches I've learned stuff from, even from when I was a kid.
You mentioned your overseas coach. Tell me about your playing career. I know you had a year in Germany there.
Well, I played in Germany, and then I always laugh about it now, but it was serious. A tree jumped out and hit me when I was asleep.
Really?
No, you said really. No, I hit a tree when I was asleep, man. I joke about it now. So it ended my career. So, you know, so instead of being devastated about it now, that's my little joke to people.
Right. So what was is that the...
Yeah, I broke my arm, broke my hip, tore my knee up. I was paralyzed for about a day. You know, it was God's grace that I'm still here.
Wow.
So, and then I ended career.
Okay.
So I coached high school for a year. I didn't want to coach. I was doing Xavier McDaniel's basketball camp, and I had done clinics and stuff all throughout the city of Wichita. And one of the principals came up and said, "What you doing? You want to coach? I got a JV team, assistant varsity coach. I need a coach." So I did it for a year and then fell in love with it.
Did you know before that you wanted to coach, or were you like sort of forced into it?
No, I wasn't forcing anything. I just, I was always good at teaching the game, and I was always a point guard, quarterback type, great leader. So when he asked me, and it just kind of came natural, but I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Or, as you play, you think you're going to play for 25, 15
Right.
years and retire, but coaching has been awesome.
Were you a point guard, or you more of a front court player?
I was
Where
a
did you
point
fit
guard.
in?
I didn't go until I went to college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was 5'6" as a freshman.
wow. And then what are you now, or what were you by the end?
6'5".
6'5".
Not when I went to high school. No.
Right.
My senior year, I had got to like 6'1". And then when I went to junior college, grew to like 6'3", then 2 more inches my sophomore year.
So what was your game? Were you more of a distributor from that role? You more of a scorer?
Scoring point guard. Scoring point guard. Did a little bit of everything, like all-around player, rebound, assists, steals. More of an all-around type player.
And then you said you won a national title at St.
St. Jack, sure did, my freshman year.
What was the experience of that like for you?
When you win a national championship, that means you're number one, you're the best. It's nothing like that. Whether on any level that you're on, when you win a national championship, that means you're the best, and that's what you play this game for.
And you went to Wichita State from there. They've become sort of a household name, but what was the program like at that point?
It was good. We went to the NCAA tournament. Wichita State has a history. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the best players, Xavier McDaniels, Dave Stallworth, Cliff Antoine, Cliff Livingston Antoine, on and on. It's always been a powerhouse. Cheese Johnson, so a lot of great players came out of Wichita State.
And you grew up in Mount Vernon, New York. Tell me about your upbringing and your childhood. What was that like?
It was fun. You're growing up in the inner city. You never know. It's just different. You have to be a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker. You understand? But it was fun though. Because you don't know no better. That's all you know.
Right.
It was tough though. It was tough. You had to survive.
Expand on that a little bit for me. That begs the question, what kind of challenges do you face in that scenario? What are some of the things day to day that you run into that make it difficult to survive when you talk about that toughness?
Here now?
No.
Oh.
Back then.
No, you just worry about where you're going to eat, how you're going to eat, If you're just going to make it up the block back on, it's just a tough neighborhood. It's inner city.
Is it tough to escape there and get out of there? How do you end up at San Jacinto?
Well, because my grades wasn't good, so because I didn't like school at that time.
Right.
But I was always smart. So my high school coach used to challenge me. He said, you one of the smartest kids I know, but you don't go to school. That's because, you half in the environment, you half want to escape the environment. So sports took me away from it. Sports was my key.
And now you've ended up with a family. You said you have a wife and you have 2 daughters with her, and 3 other daughters indeed. What kind of role do they play in your life? How important are they to you as a
They're the most
person?
important thing in my life. I'm a family guy, so, and enjoy every minute of them.
How do they like it down here so far?
They love it. They was only here a day, but they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave, so they ready to get down here.
Right. I mean, I'm sure everybody's excited to see you get settled in here, and hopefully everything goes well with getting everybody else settled in, and we're excited to see how things
We
work
will.
out.
This is going to be fantastic down here. I mean, like Coach said, the people are awesome, and I look forward to getting my whole family down here and enjoying the Valley.
On that note, I think we'd like to conclude this edition of Monitor Chat by thanking our viewers, especially those who submitted questions, and by thanking our guest, Coach Lou Hill. I speak for myself and everybody here in the Valley when I look forward to seeing what the coming seasons bring for you and for the UTRGV basketball program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.